So shall we start the? Shall I start the
Yes,
Mangalacharan,
yes.
Prabhuji?
Yeah,
Okay,
could
okay.
you do it, please?
Yeah, sure. Om Agnanatimirandasya Gnananjanashalakaya Chakshurunmitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam
Manopishtam Stapitam Dena Kutare Kadamaya Tati Swapadantikam
Vandeham
Viditam Stapitam Dena Kutare Swami Kadamaya Tati Swapadantikam
Shri
Tashi Vishakan Vidam Guna Sindhu Dina Bandhu Tagapate Kopesh Kopika Kanta Kanta
Radha Kanta Namostute Sapta Kanchana Gaurangi
Kanchana
Radhe
Gaurange Radhe Vrindavan Ishwari
Vrishabhanu
Vishabhanu Sutadevi Pranami Hari Pire
Vancha
Vanchakapa
Patadeshya
Jivascha
Kripasindhya
Pitanan
Patikanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavibhyo Namo
Vaishnave
Namaha
Namo Sri Krishna Chaitanya
Chaitanya Prabhu
Nityananda Sri
Nityananda
Advaita Gadadhar Sri Vasari Sri Gaur Bhaktivinoda Hare Krishna
Hare
Hare
Krishna 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 Hare
Krishna
Hare
Krishna Hare
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 Ram
Hare
Hare
Rama
Rama
Hare Rama Rama
Hare
Rama Hare
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. We are reading from the Srimad Bhagavatam today, and today's verse, we're doing Canto 2, Chapter 1, and verse number 35, Prabhuji.
Yes, let's do 35 and 36.
36.
35 and 36.
Okay, Prabhuji.
You can read?
Yes, I can read, Prabhu. Just opening the verse. Verse number 35. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate
Bhagavate
Vasudevaya.
Vasudevaya.
Om Namo
Om
Bhagavate
Namo
Vasudevaya.
Vasudevaya.
Narayanam Namaskritya Naranchaiva Narottamam
Bhakti
Devim Saraswatam Vyasam Tato Jantiraya Sapraisa Bhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati
Bhakti
Naistaki.
Bhavati Naistaki.
Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 2, Chapter 1, verse number 35. Vijnana Shaktim Mahim Ama Sarvatmanonta Karanam Kiritram Asvashvatari Putra Gaja Nakhani Sarve Mriga Pashavaha Pronidete. Should we do the word to word, Prabhu, or translation?
Yes, let's do the word for word.
Vijnana Shaktim, consciousness. Mahim, the correct principle of matter. Amananti, they call so. Sarva Atmanaha, of the omnipresent. Anta Karanaha, Karana, ego. Kitram, Rudra, Shiva. Horse. Ashwatari, mule. Pustra, camel. Gaja, elephant. Nakhani, nails. Sarve, all other. Mriga, stags. Shavaha, quadrupeds. Troni Deshe, on the region of the belt. Translation by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktan Swami Prabhupada ki jai. The principle of matter, Mahatattva, is the consciousness of the omnipresent Lord, as asserted by the experts. And Rudradeva is his ego. And the horse, the mule, camel, and elephant are his nails. And wild animals and all quadrupeds are situated in the belt zone of the Lord. Prabhuji, can I read the second? Yes. yes,
Yeah,
Prabhuji.
any discussion about that? Any question?
Uh, yes, Prabhuji, we have been seeing from the past many days about the description of the I mean, the Virat Rupa. His veins are being the rivers, and then his hairs are like trees. So it's not conceivable for us, but we have to know by the shastras how they're comparing the Virat Rupa to the different natural elements.
Yeah, yeah. It reminds me of the 10th chapter in Bhagavad Gita, the opulence of the absolute. And so then there is the Lord Krishna tells, of fishes I am the shark, of mountains I'm the Himalayas. So anything which is very great and special, that brings us closer to God. So in the same way, I think one way of looking at this is that the trees, which cover the earth, they can like hairs on the universe, right? And the rivers, the veins of God are not going to be like our veins. They're gigantic rivers, right? So so like that, yeah. So,
It's
all right,
a
text 36.
yes, yes, Prabhu. We'll do the text 36. वायांशी तद्व्याकरणां विचित्रं मनुर्मनीषा मनुजं निवास गन्धर्वविद्याधर चारणाप्सरा अनुरागिता वीर्यः वायांसी varieties of birds tadvyakaranam
Vocable,
vocable vichitram artistic
artistic,
Manu the father
Manu,
of
the
mankind
father of mankind,
Manisha
Manisha,
thought
God,
Manuja
Manuja,
mankind the
mankind,
sons of
the sons
Manu
of Manu,
Nivasa residence
Bhakta, Revan,
Gandharva the
Gandharva,
human being
the
named
human beings
Gandharva
named Gandharva,
Vidyadhara the
Vidyadhara,
Vidyadhara
the angel,
Charana the Charanas Apsara the angels
the angels,
Swara
Swara,
musical rhythm
rhythm,
Smriti remembrance
Smriti, remembrance,
Asura Anika
Asura,
the demonic
Anika, the
soldiers
demoniac soldiers,
Virya
Virya,
Proverbs
prowess.
Translation. Varieties of birds are indications of his masterful artistic sense. Manu, the father of mankind, is the emblem of his standard intelligence. The humanity is his residence. The celestial species of human beings like the Gandharvas, Vidyadharas, Charanas, and angels all represent his musical rhythm. And the demoniac soldiers are representative of his wonderful prowess.
So I'll
Purport
read the
by
first half. I'll read the
okay, okay.
first half of the purport, and then you
Yes,
can do
Prabhu.
the other half.
Okay, Prabhu.
You don't have to do everything.
Okay, Prabhu.
Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was very pleased. I think it was Raghunath Bhatta, how he would sing the verses of Srimad Bhagavatam. So it's very pleasing to Krishna when we recite the verses and the word for word. So, purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada.
Jai.
The aesthetic sense of the Lord is manifested in the artistic, colorful creation of varieties of birds like the peacock, parrot, and cuckoo. The celestial species of human beings like the Gandharvas and Vidyadharas can sing wonderfully and can entice even the minds of the heavenly demigods. Their musical rhythm represents the musical sense of the Lord. How then can he be impersonal? His musical taste, artistic sense, and standard intelligence, which is never fallible, are different signs of his supreme personality. So that's very nice, right? That we listen to any music, it can be very nice. So that just gives that. Where does it come from? Where does the idea come for that music? Of course, it comes from Krishna. And we look at art or amazing architecture, buildings, attractive birds, butterflies, all that, zebras, leopards, tigers. So that gives us some idea of that is the artistic ability. of Krishna. It is. He is actually the one who gave that vision. Pretty amazing. The Manu Samhita is the standard law book for humanity, and every human being is advised to follow this great book of social knowledge. Human society is the residential quarters for the Lord. This means that the human being is meant for God realization and association with God. This life is a chance for the conditioned soul to regain its eternal God consciousness and thus fulfill the mission of life. So you can begin with Maharaj Palad.
Okay. Maharaja Prahlada is the right type of representative of the Lord in the family of Asuras. None of the living beings is away from the Lord's gigantic body. Each and every one has a particular duty in relation to the supreme body. Disruption in the matter of discharging the specific duty assigned to each and every living being is the cause of disharmony between the living being and another, one living being another. But when the relation is re-established in relation with the Supreme Lord, there is complete unity between all living beings, even up to the limit of the wild animals and human society. Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu displayed this living unity in the jungle of Madhya Pradesh, where even the tigers, elephants, and many other ferocious animals perfectly cooperated in glorifying the Supreme Lord. That is the way to peace and amity all over the world. Correct.
Very good. So, thank you for allowing me to be here and have your association. So, as you said, we are continuing with our study of Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 2, Chapter 1, which is entitled The First Step in God Realization. So, who would like to offer, who would like to share first what you thought were important points in the purport? What gets your interest hearing this purport?
What is mesmerizing is was Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's ability to even make the animals participate in the Sankirtana Yajna. That is
Yes,
mesmerizing.
yeah, that's pretty amazing. Yeah, not many people can do that. Although not just for Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, there are narratives from other religious systems of great saints communing with animals, but not like this, not to this extent. Anything else? Someone else? So Srila Prabhupada, this continues the discussion between Sri Shukadev Goswami Maharaj Pariksit about the beginning stages of seeing Krishna, seeing God, seeing him present in the different things of this world. And in these verses, continuing how to how to understand and appreciate Lord Krishna's, Lord Vishnu's artistic ability, creative ability, musical ability, power, very powerful, expert in the use of so many different weapons. Srila Prabhupada begins, the aesthetic sense of the Lord is manifested in the artistic, colorful creation of varieties of birds. The musical rhythm represents the musical sense of the Lord. How then can he be impersonal? So this is a useful point. Logic and reason. At least when we speak with someone who is honestly curious or willing to hear a reasonable answer. How can, because what is the alternate view? What is the other conception of where everything comes from? That it comes from nothing. That it comes from nothing. There was a big explosion, just like we can take one big metal box, perhaps they put trash or refuse, uh, big metal container, and we put in pieces of a bicycle, the tires and the wires and bicycle seat, and all the different tubes and everything. And then we drop dynamite in the box and then we blow it up 10, 20, 100 times. And then we're going to get a bicycle. That's what they say. That if we blow it up enough times, it will somehow we'll get a whole bicycle. Imagine we come home in the evening, and it could be our husband or it could be our wife, and so there's dinner. They have the evening meal. Oh, well, how did you make all these things? Well, I just put the flour, I put the salt, I put the ghee, I put it in this big box, and I shook it and I shook it, and then there it was. It is completely ridiculous. It is. It goes against our own experience, doesn't it? Or they don't necessarily say that exactly. That first there was an explosion, and then there was the vegetables and the ghee and all the different spices, the rice, and over the course of time, the physical laws, they somehow gravity attracted everything, but there was no intelligence. No. But that seems to me it goes against uh, our own. It goes against our own everyday experience, doesn't it? Uh, that's not our own. That's not our experience. Someone puts together the evening dinner. A person with consciousness, puts together the bicycle. It is not even. It goes against none of us, unless we were on some kind of drugs, would expect that we're going to uh, make a complicated computer keyboard by putting the parts in a big metal container and blowing them up 100 times, 1,000 times, 10,000 times. We wouldn't even, would we? Who would expect that? It goes against our own experience. Why would we even entertain such a theory? That's an interesting question. Uh, suppose we were taking care of chimpanzees at a sanctuary. So every day or every week, 2 times a week for 10 years, the animals need um, mental stimulation, exercise. So they hang the bananas or the fruit, they hang it from the top of the cage or some corner, and the chimpanzee has to figure out how to get it, or whatever the animal. So you have to go up. If the food is hanging from the top, the animal goes up. And of course, the animal has some intelligence and it puts boxes on top of another box or puts a branch so that it can climb up the branch because the animal can understand that I have to go up. Now, suppose one day you hang the thing up high, right? And the animal starts digging down. You watch, and the animal is digging down into the ground and looking up, but it's digging down. So what would you think? What would you think about that animal? Tell me. What might you start thinking about that animal? Someone, someone say. Well, what might you think? Suppose you see your wife and she puts the oil in the frying pan and then she puts the frying pan in the freezer, in the ice box, in the refrigerator. What would you think?
It's gone out of mind.
Yes, something is wrong, right? Something is radically, maybe the animal fell and hurt their head or something. Someone put LSD in their water. Uh, or, imagine these professors, what do they call anthropologists? So they study the culture of humans, often from the past. So suppose there's two professors from London, and they go to these caves in France. There are these caves, um, and you can see that there were, ancient from 7, 8, 10,000, 12,000 years ago, humans or Neanderthals, as they say, and they drew, or there's paintings of deer and buffalo and woolly mammoths, and there's drawings on the wall, right? There are. So in black and red. So suppose the professors, they send a report back, right? And they say, well, we're studying, and what we think is that the wind picked up pieces of burnt wood and banged it against the side of the cave. And then also the wind picked up some red berries and just banged them against the cave. And that's why there's drawings. So obviously they're mad, right? Right? That we would not usually even dream of dreaming of accepting such an explanation, isn't it? Uh, so then the question is why? Why? Why would they even say that? There's some motivation. There's some motivation. So this is talked about in all religious systems, uh, some yoga systems, that we humans, we have the ability to reject things we don't like, even if they're true, isn't it? Maybe some of us have heard. Uh, I think I might do it, maybe, or begin to. But it happens that people, they visit the doctor, and the doctor says, "Oh, you have pancreatic cancer. You have 6 to 9 months to live." And it's so shocking, so terrifying that they say, "You don't know what you're talking about," and they get up and walk away sometimes because it's just so shocking. It's too much to deal with, but it's true. You see, that's the point. So it is a fact. It's not a matter of religious faith, or it's not my opinion. We see that all of us, we have I don't know what the word is. I guess it's an inability or it's a capacity to pick and choose what we will accept, isn't it? Even psychologists have described, I forget, maybe there's 5 stages or 6 stages that people usually go through when they're approaching, uh, they're leaving this world. There's denial and then gradual acceptance. So these are all emotional things. These are all just emotions. Therefore, yoga, the very beginning, the first step, yama niyama, asana, pranayam, pratyahara, the 6 stages, the first stages, yama niyama. This means living the right lifestyle. Yama niyama, things to do, things not to do, and asana and pranayam. The purpose of these 4 beginning steps is just to bring the mind and the emotions very under control and make the mind very sharp and very focused so that we have a good instrument to go further. If we're looking at the Mars or Saturn, I have looked through telescope. You can see the rings around Saturn and the big spot on Jupiter, all these things. You can see galaxies. But you have to know how to adjust the lenses of the telescope. You have to know where to point the telescope. You have to know how to look through so you don't shake the telescope. So you have to learn those things first. But because even if you try, if you don't know how, you won't. So this is we may say, is the scientific or the rational, reasonable reason why we Hare Krishnas or any yoga practitioner follows these basic principles that we do. They're just to make us a good instrument because no one can go very far in understanding spirit, in understanding Krishna without being qualified. Oh, show me God. Well, are you qualified? You can't even see gamma rays. You don't know how to see gamma rays. You won't know how to use the equipment. Can you operate on an eye? Can you do cataract surgery? You have to know how to do it. So this is just childishness, actually, or immaturity. Yes, we can see God. You just have to know it. You just have to be qualified. Qualify yourself. You can't win, a long distance running Olympic medal without being qualified. Hello? So that's all. So there's a method for everything. And so this chapter, the whole Srimad Bhagavatam, but this second canto is very much dedicated to providing us the initial foothold, toehold, the initial step up, so that we can see further, so we can go further. In the Bhagavad, I was thinking off and on, in Bhagavad Gita, Lord Krishna says that one must rise to the level of spirit to understand me. We have to become in quality like Krishna to understand him, to appreciate him. We have to have a certain character, to appreciate a thing. So we need a character which is like Krishna, or like Krishna, which is calm and clear-headed and humble and loving. Krishna is pure love. And if we, to the extent that and there are people, we're not all that, there are people who don't have much experience with love or don't believe in love, who are not kind, who are not giving as much as other people, who are selfish and self-centered and always looking to see what my profit is going to be. So how can you appreciate it? Because it is said, Atmavat Manyate Jagat, that's another tendency of us humans. We tend to think other people think like us. That however I think, that's how other people think. And that may be true to some extent, but not always. Not always. If we don't see, like there's two sides. If we don't understand how horribly cheating and self-centered other people can be, we could end up being cheated because we think, oh, this person is telling me the truth. This person is being honest. This person is actually interested in my welfare. And we could lose a lot of money, or we could suffer in some other way because of believing this person. And then on the other hand, we might not appreciate how someone is actually truly caring and giving and loving and a good person, because we're not like that, or we don't have very much experience of such people. So therefore, Lord Krishna says, Mam Tuyo Vyabhacharina Bhakti Yogena Sevate. One must rise to the level of Brahman to understand me more and more fully. So it's not just book learning, but it is also a matter of our character. So then Srila Prabhupada goes on to speak about how human society is the residential quarters of the Lord. The human being is meant for God realization and association with God. This life is a chance for the conditioned soul to regain his eternal God consciousness and fulfill the mission of life, which is our original consciousness, love of Godhead. Maybe any thoughts or discussion so far? Anything?
Prabhuji, about Prabhupada has mentioned about the Gandharvas, the Kinnaras, and the Apsaras. These are the living beings similar to human beings, and they are from the higher planetary systems.
Yes. Yeah, they're angels. Like a large number of people talk about my angels. My angels are guiding me, right? In a general sense. Yeah, so they're good, benefic beings who can live in both their subtle body or manifest a physical, gross form, like Goth. They live in the subtle body, in their subtle body, and some of them are very powerful. They can actually manifest to some degree a physical presence. People see ghosts sometimes. So that these, so they're beings. They live, what we say, in a higher vibration.
We have seen
It's a lot going
instances.
on that we may not be conscious of. Yeah, it's not just 7 continents on Earth. There's other realms of existence.
There are some instances we have here in Mahabharata that the people from other planets visited the Earth, like Gandharvas, and I think there are some instances.
They're not manifesting anymore. Is that it? Yeah,
Yes, yes.
in the age of, yeah. I mean, why would you? To who? If you manifested yourself, the person might be screaming in terror, uh, right? Or they just, wouldn't know how to deal with it. Whereas centuries ago, thousands of years ago, it was more common, and people also, many people were more in the mode of goodness. Um, yeah, you wouldn't want to scare someone. You're a good person. There are processes given by which one can chant mantras. I knew someone, a brahmachari, long time ago, before he met devotees of Krishna. He practiced something, and he said he spent some months, 6 months, on some mountain, chanting some mantra and making some offerings to some demigoddess, and she appeared to him. That's what he said. Some question, Panchali?
Hare
Panchali?
Krishna Prabhuji, please accept my humble obeisances. Thank you, Prabhuji. I have a question, again, related to what Ari Govind Prabhuji was saying, but also in continuation of the session yesterday. So just as, Prabhupada mentions various people as we have to go up, and go beyond the consciousness of the material world to be able to reach Krishna. So we also touched upon how Brahmaji, and then we have in the material world, we also have Shiva. And there are multiple Shivas in each universe. There are Shivas. So, I'm a bit confused, Prabhuji. There wasn't time to clarify yesterday, but I thought I'll check with you today. So, in each universe, is there a Shiva dedicated to that particular universe? Because Shiva is above the material world. So is that the Sadashiva, and then the Shiva that comes out of Brahma is the Rudra form that comes out from the Brahmaji's forehead. And those are the Shivas who are in each universes. So I'm a bit confused, Prabhuji.
Yeah, it needs some sorting. But yeah, as you suggested, that Sada Shiva in the Vaikuntha is different than the form of Shiva as Rudra, who is worshipped in this world as Shiva. So Lord Brahma, Lord Shiva, Lord Vishnu, they appear in each universe, innumerable universes. And along with Lord Mahavishnu, Karna Dakshai Vishnu, there is Sadashiva, who is a higher manifestation of the Shiva of this world.
Okay, Prabhuji. So Sadashiva doesn't come to the material world. He's above, but it's the Rudra forms who come in the material world. Okay, I understand.
And if you look in Brahma Samhita, there is somewhat clearer discussion of the difference. Yeah.
All right. Thank you so much, Prabhuji. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Any other discussion? Anything?
About the musical instruments, Krishna is compared to the musical instruments, and of course, all the artistry is coming from originating from Krishna. So the musical thing, what we enjoy most in this material world, in the subtle form of the art. So it's also coming from Krishna. So wonderful that it's a manifestation of his artistry that we are able to see a portion of it in this material world.
Take any well-known singer anywhere, anyone you like, or instrument player, and it's Krishna. Really, anything. Of course, it's not that it can't be said that Krishna himself personally likes that kind of sound, but he is capable of, obviously, of manifesting that such to those who do like it. I remember once, because Srila Prabhupada writes that the easiest method of realizing God is to sit in front of the Panchatattva and chant Hare Krishna. Of course, wanting that, may I please have more realization of you. So I think I mentioned I didn't come from a religious background. I came from atheistic family. I had very little. I mean, from my relatives, I had no religious influence. But I had my own beliefs and convictions. I had a natural, what they call Dr. Frog. Sometimes we've heard this Dr. for the Frog, wanting to understand everything themselves by their own experience. Skeptic, what they call skeptic, spiritual. So a little difficult. On one hand, within my heart, I believed, but my head very skeptical. How can this be? How is this? How is this? It took me a little while to appreciate that spirituality is not something we can fully understand immediately or ever. But anyway, so I thought I would experiment. That's what I thought. I thought, oh, okay, well, let me test this. So Srila Prabhupada is saying that if I sit in front of Panchatattva and I chant Hare Krishna, then I will have God realization. So I thought, let me test it. So I did it. I'm just saying this is my deliberate thinking. So I remember a few times, and there's just small experience, but I think it's real. I believe it's real. That one time I did that, maybe less than an hour. So then I was just sitting there quietly, and I saw this little bug, very not a spider, some other kind of insect, very small, with 6 or 8 legs, and it was walking right in front of where I was sitting in the temple room. So I just looked. I was just looking at the bug, and immediately I was I don't know what the word is. I was struck. I was just like, of course, someone created this bug. It had to be. How could it not be? This tiny little bug with these tiny little legs and eyes and walking. And I got I felt, oh, Krishna is so brilliant. Um, I accepted. You could say that I accepted it. I realized it. I understood it. I don't know what words you would use, but I became very, I believed it. I felt it. So, this has something to do also what we were talking about, that our qualification, if someone's mind is too disturbed, or they're, well, just too disturbed, or they can't, foggy headed or something, they can look at something. They don't see it the same way someone else sees it, right? Actually, we know this. People drink and they're driving on the road and they're driving in the middle and they don't know it. They are driving in the middle of they're driving on the other side, but they don't know it because, right? So in the same way that our minds can become foggy, they can also become the other way, right? I think that's logical. So then we can ask the question that what is there to see if I make my mental and intelligent apparatus more capable? That's a thought. So anyways, so I think like that. Then there was another instance, and I did the same thing. But in this case, not right away, but perhaps the next day. I think the next day, it just became very clear to me that Lord Krishna says, Sarvasitaham Riddhi Sanibhasta Mata Smirtir Gyanam Apahonam Cha. That I am the source of all remembrance, intelligence, and forgetfulness. So I was trying to remember something, and then it just came. Just like we're looking for our keys, the keys to our car. Where are my keys? Where did I put the keys? Right? And then all of a sudden, poof! Oh, they're under this book over there. So why you should remember that? There's so many millions of things that you could think of. Why that exact thing, right? Or sometimes you're thinking, how can I fix this? How can I solve this issue? And you're thinking and thinking, and then you let it go. And then it just comes, right? So one thing is, however it happens, it's not under our control, isn't it? However it happens, uh, it's not under our control completely. It's given, isn't it? So I had that very, very crystal clear recognition that someone is supplying. And not only that, Tesham Satatam Yuktanam, Bhajatam Priti Purvakam, Dadami Buddhi Yogam Tam, Yenamam Upayantite. Just like when we speak about Krishna consciousness, the verses, right? The exact verse that matches what we're talking about. How does that happen? Why? So Krishna is supplying. He's supplying everyone remembrance and forgetfulness, intelligence. So I was speaking about this process of God realization. The simplest way is to worship Lord Chaitanya and Lord Nityananda, specifically wanting, let me understand you more. Let me appreciate you more. We may want a higher paying job. It may not come so quick, but if we pray that may I appreciate you more, may I appreciate my spiritual master more deeply, that Krishna will answer very quickly, especially in his most merciful form of Lord Chaitanya and Lord Nityananda. As Srila Prabhupada speaks about Lord Chaitanya in the purport, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu displayed this living unity in the jungle of Madhya Pradesh, where even the tigers, elephants, and many other ferocious animals perfectly cooperated in glorifying the Supreme Lord. So Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, as we know, we pray, Namo Mahavadhanaya, Krishna Prema Pradayate, Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namne, Gora Tashe Namaha. That we offer our respectful obeisances unto Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who is the most magnanimous incarnation of Krishna. He is Krishna himself, Radha Krishna, and specifically, Lord Chaitanya is in the mood of Srimati Radharani when Uddhava, we may remember that after Lord Krishna went to Mathura, Akrura came and took he and Balaram ji to Mathura, and they killed the elephant and the wrestlers, and finally they killed Kamsa, and they stayed in Mathura. And the gopis and all the residents of Vrindavan were so sad. When Lord Krishna left, they about lost their life. So then Lord Krishna, he knew how they were feeling, and he felt sorry for that. So he sent his dear friend Uddhava to Vrindavan to bring a message. Because you can imagine all the residents of Mother Yashoda and Nanda Maharaj and the gopis and other cowherd men and the friends of Krishna, Sudama, Sridham, Subal, Madhu Mangal, so many different friends of Krishna, Vishaka, Lalita, Rangadevi, Sudevi, Chitraleka, Induleka, Tunga Vijaya, Champakalata, so many gopis and maidservants. So they were all so sad. So he wanted to send a message. So Uddhava came to Vrindavan and he stayed for some months. I just heard again the pastime. So Srimati Radharani, she was practically dead, so to speak. And they took Uddhava to the side the gopis and Srimati Radharani, and they were asking, does Krishna still remember us? Does he ever think about Vrindavan? And he must be having enjoyment in the company of the city women of Mathura. We are just simple village girls. They're the ladies in Mathura. They are sophisticated women. So they were feeling jealous and angry and so upset. So Srimati Radharani, she is of course, the topmost lover of Krishna, the immediate expansion of Lord Krishna's internal energy, Yoga Maya. She is the personification of love of Krishna, Mahabhava. So she was in this mood of separation, vipralamba, just out of her mind, so to speak, feeling lost. So this mood is the mood of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, this mood of feeling the presence of your loved one in separation. And we have some experience. Sometimes we are separated from our children or from our parents or a friend of ours, a very close friend. Sometimes we have a very close childhood friend and we separate, we move apart. And of course, between boyfriend and girlfriend, husband and wife, separation. You're not seeing each other. The woman or the man, they go away for some weeks or some months. And it is a certain flavor of love. And actually, usually we can feel the presence of our child, our parent, our friend, our beloved more when they are away from us, in a sense, isn't it? So Srimati Radharani and the gopis, they are absorbed in this, in that particular pastime of separation. And Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was feeling this separation. And we are encouraged to also accept and appreciate this feeling of separation from Krishna. So Uddhava, he went and he told them everything about Lord Krishna. And the message of Krishna we can read in the 10th canto. But basically, Lord Krishna said that don't feel that you're apart from me, which is what this verse today is all about. It is what this chapter is all about, is not feeling separated from Krishna, or not as much. And Krishna is not just way up in the sky somewhere in Goloka Vrindavan or Vaikuntha, and he's way off in the spiritual. No, the computer screen that we're looking at right now, the cell phone we're looking at right now, that is the energy of Krishna. Our body is the energy of Krishna. The clothes, the food, the air. It is all Krishna. It is his energy. He is with us. And even more so within our hearts as Paramatma. So no, it is not exactly completely the same as being with him in our spiritual bodies in Vaikuntha. But neither are we lost to him. As Srila Prabhupada would say, don't be lost to Krishna. And don't think that Krishna is lost to you. And that is one of the great benefits of reading these descriptions, so that in our daily life we can feel connected. We can feel the presence of Krishna wherever we are. We're in the loo, we're in the bath, the shower, we're at work, we're changing the baby's diaper, we're cooking, everywhere, always. We can feel we can remember the presence of Krishna. Krishna's not just at the temple. No, the temple is necessary for us, but Krishna, it is true. There are those who say, why go to the temple? God is everywhere. Yes, he's everywhere, but to learn that and to develop it, we need the temple. But he is everywhere, and advanced devotees can keep intact more because of their love. Premanjana charita bhakti vado chanena shanta sadaiva hridayeshu vayokayanti yam shama sundaram chintaguna surupa govindam adi purusham tamaham bhaja. Premanjana, prema, we see God with our desire to see him. Not that we're imagining, but because we want to see him. We can. We can. And this will give us at least deeper peace and inner strength and joy within our heart. So I'll stop here. Any discussion or questions?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Yeah, wonderful is the Krishna conscious movement where Prabhupada has given us a platform to connect with Krishna, connect with devotees, connect with Srimad Bhagavatam. He has given us a simple, and while it's a very strong medium for us to understand our own selves and then our own, the reality about this world, and then also about the God, and then not speculate like Big Bang Theory and then do a childish experiment and lose millions of dollars. So this is a wonderful place for us to learn. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Jai. Any other questions or comments? Hare Krishna. I'm in the temple. I'm staying in a temple, and then they're bursting a lot of crackers because this Diwali today. So it's the sound is really big.
The Big Bang.
Yes, it's sort of a big bang.
Yes.
If there are no other questions or comments, can I ask, request Panchali Mataji to close the session? Hare Krishna Mataji, are you in a position?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, yes, thank you very much. Apologies, I joined a bit late, Prabhuji, but thank you so much for taking us through Prabhupada's message around the and in continuation with learning about the Virat form of the Lord, and how we must raise our consciousness beyond this material world to be able to reach Lord Krishna. And get his association, go back to Godhead. And I also liked how you ended by giving such an apt example with the pastime of Uddhava and Radharani and the gopis, explaining how basic our love is and how elevated Radharani's love is for Krishna, and how we must aspire to get her blessings to be able to get the mercy of Lord Krishna and try to love him in the purest form. Thank you very much again, Prabhuji, for the wonderful class as always. May I please request all the devotees to please unmute yourself and glorify Prabhuji with the Hare Krishna mantra.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Vancha kalpatarubhyasya kripa sindhubhya vachana patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha.
Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Ki jai.
Granth Raj Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai.
Jai.
Gita.
His Grace Dina Sharana Prabhuji ki jai.
Jai.
Thank you so much for allowing me to have your company. It helps my, as I always say, and it's true, it helps my Krishna consciousness so much, and I value it very much. I hope I can always be in your company.
Thank you so much,
Thank
Prabhuji.
I wish
you.
everyone well and happiness.
Hare Krishna,
Thank you,
Prabhuji.
Prabhuji. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna.
Hare
to you
Krishna.
too.
Happy Diwali to everyone.
Happy Diwali. Happy Diwali. Hare Krishna. Thank you.
Hare Krishna.